Okay, so we are now recording the August 28th, 2020 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday.
I see everybody got the blue shirt, except for a few of you, the blue shirt memo.
I didn't know.
Yes, I didn't
know.
get that memo. I'm green.
Because you have a blue graphic background.
I'm black like my heart.
Oh,
Shannon.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Shannon,
That's
you
right.
go get them. This was the only clean shirt I had that fit me.
okay. There you go.
It's a
California-
plane shirt where they pull an airplane. It was
Oh,
a contest.
Cool.
Like 20 people line up and they pull an airplane, and whoever pulls it the fastest
Wins.
wins. Yeah. We had a laser. We had to rent a laser machine that timed it.
Oh, wow.
They only had to pull it like 10 feet. So the hardest thing was to get the airplane to move.
Oh, Ernest just changed his shirt. Look at that.
No, I didn't.
Boo.
Did you?
I put a hat on.
Oh, you put
That, yeah, that's what he did. He put a hat on.
Okay.
I was going to say, why doesn't Ernest look like Ernest? And he didn't have a hat on.
I was trying to find a beige hat, but I couldn't find it. So
So
would've been
California's
much better.
burning up right now. California's burning up. Louisiana is getting drenched.
Yeah,
And it's
Texas
headed our
too.
way.
And it bypassed Florida. You know why? I put hurricane windows in my house this year.
Yeah,
It's just like putting a
It's like taking
snowplow.
an
Buying a
umbrella
snowplow up
someplace.
north. You buy a snowplow, it doesn't snow.
Now, Gina, is that hurricane going to end up over in your direction or no?
We may get a piece of it. It's not scheduled for like the center, but it hasn't been the hurricanes that's been getting me.
No.
It's been the storms before and after. So I am still not recovered from my lightning strike. I am still replacing
Whoa.
equipment. Yeah. And it's going so slowly, but I'm learning to lower my expectations, and that'll keep me living longer.
It will.
We get storms every day, so the thunderstorms don't even affect me
It
anymore.
seems like
We're so desperate to not be hit again after so many times.
Yeah.
Now he has special surge protectors on both sides of the router, and then at every like printer, the internet cable goes into some, I don't know. He's got a thing on the wall at every workstation. I'm like, what is
Wow.
all this stuff? He's just
Wow.
desperate. So we figured out that the last lightning strike hit the tree on this side, and it's on our neighbor's property, and look at the whole tree is dead. You can see the scar down the,
Wow.
and then the tree next to it is an old oak that's always been leaning towards our house. The other one's over 100-foot pine tree. So the tree guy, he's like, I got to take both those out. So I've got to go talk to the neighbor and ask permission and, see if she in the kindness of her heart gives me some money, but that won't happen. Because it's so far away from her house.
But it's still her property that the trees are on, but they could fall on your
Yeah,
house.
and they have no liability in the state for some crazy reason.
Really? If their trees fall on your house, they're not liable?
You can't
It just goes to my homeowners.
Oh, wow.
Or you could just be like what the neighbors are here where we built our house in January or February. They went and cut down a bunch of the dead trees on the tree line. The only problem is the tree line is on our property. And all the trees don't look alive in January because it's cold.
Maybe
they're
they can
hibernating.
cut it a little bit at the bottom and they'll fall over into her backyard. I don't know.
There you go. Then she
As long
has
as
to
it's
deal
away
with it.
from our house. You take a big pine tree that's 3 feet in diameter, man, that thing will cut your house in half.
Yes, it will.
Oh, well,
Oh, yeah.
3 people were killed in Louisiana with trees going down in the middle of
Well,
houses.
they did.
Yeah,
One was
that-
a 14-year-old girl.
So far, that's the only fatalities from the hurricane is trees landing on houses.
I thought they were up to 6.
Yeah, I thought they were up to 6 too.
Yeah, there was some other weird thing. I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't.
I can't
remember.
believe that one high rise and all the windows are gone. So you can see the older construction being demolished and the newer construction sort of hanging in there. There was one picture, all the houses are like gone off of the foundations. And then in this one backyard, there's this one little shed. Almost looks like an outhouse. I'm like, I wonder who built that. It's just like,
They did an excellent job. Or it's one of those
that'd be like a
things.
great commercial for that builder, you know? Like,
It just happened to be in the right spot.
Yeah.
there's nothing around it, that's for sure.
Wow, wow. So I'm going to change the subject and I'm going to talk about pro advisors and people with multiple accounts. And I know that's you, Linda.
I do. I have multiple accounts over the years. I guess I've created things to make a video or whatever, and I've got a lot of accounts that are.
I did
Name.
too. And I, like maybe 2 years ago, spent a lot of time on the phone with support, and they supposedly merged everything. Well, I got a notice from Intuit that my credit card is expired. My Pro Advisor membership is about to be renewed. So I'm like, well, which account is it? Is it really expired? Isn't it expired? So I went and I looked on my site, and the one that has the most recent softwares, because I have some with softwares recent, some with softwares a long time ago, you know, that credit card is not expired. So
Well, you know what they say about the internet? Your mom told you don't put anything on the internet because it's forever. That's, I mean, I didn't try to merge mine, but I called up, I had made one and it was just a crap one. And I said, how do I get rid of it? And they said, just create like a fake Google account and just put that as a name and it'll eventually float away because it would never die.
It took a couple years. I changed its name to Do Not Use. And then finally it said it's going to be deleted in like February 2020. It was on there for like a year or two. And then finally.
Yeah.
But then they added, and then I finally, meeting ID. They finally, no, I finally had just my own, right? And now they have another one, which is like, I think is it self-employed? It's like some else free account that they gave me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
So self-employed is the one I have, but
I think it's self-employed, and I'm like, I don't want that.
I don't even know how to get
Well,
to
but
it.
No, the self-employed, you have to go to the self-employed website and log in with your Intuit ID. But what happened to me was they merged my old ID, my original ID, with the one that they gave me when they combined all the Intuit accounts together. And then my original ID was supposed to be my primary, but the one that they gave me was still primary, so I could log in and everything on Camps just fine. But I was a user, an authorized user on Camps, and not the actual admin user on Camps, so I couldn't update anything on Camps. So
And I have just discovered that that's exactly what has happened to me, Shannon. That's where I was going with this. You really, if you have multiple users, you really, really need to find out, because an authorized user can do just about everything except for pay for the subscription. You need to be that primary user. And then there's now a thing that if you're an authorized user, you can request to become the primary user. And I said, okay, well, let's try that, because the only information that they should have will come right back to me. You know what I mean? Like I should know all the.
Yeah, except for it doesn't.
It doesn't. I stopped and I remembered you, Shannon. Thank you very much. Your experience has helped me. So I won't go forward until I see, well, my problem also was I don't know the names of the levels of the pro advisors. Like you can be a pro advisor and get everything. And it says that I'm set to auto renew for premium pro advisor. I don't want that. I just want the regular software. I don't need the enterprise. I don't need all of the other stuff. So, you know.
So that you want the deluxe subscription.
I want the deluxe. That's what I need.
Yeah, it's premium and deluxe.
I think I'm deluxe because I get pro and premier.
Mhm,
And
that's all I get.
Accountant, premier accountant version.
So you're not
Which is
getting the
what I need.
enterprise, right? Because that's the expensive one.
Yeah,
No, I
Yeah,
don't
I
do that
get
one.
that one.
I can help people with it that have it, but,
Mhm.
and I just got somebody else, I got a new client. And she doesn't think she needs the plus, the QBO plus, which her CPA was doing, so she started in Essentials. And she entered stuff for August, and I explained to her, well, then all the stuff that the CPA did up until the end of July is in one data file that's now closed that you can't get into. I would recommend she's in the first month of the Essentials. I'd recommend the little bit you've entered, you re-enter it into the other, turn the other one back on, pay for it, and get rid of the Essentials one. And I'm going to teach her how it works. And then she's going to stay with the same CPA to do her she's got a real simple, she's a massage therapist. And she only needs to do invoices for people that don't pay her right away. The rest of the people, she can just say it's income, put a memo for what it is. She doesn't really need to be, I was a little surprised that when I watched Hector and the other lady working with him on Tuesday, it was really excellent about the barter accounts and that. But I was surprised that they went to all the trouble of doing invoices and entering bills and then receiving the payment on the invoice and that, rather than saying, having the money just go in and out. Oh, I've got another call, I gotta go, oh, shoot.
So Gina, what ended up solving my issue with the duplicate accounts was I got somebody finally that they just deleted every trace of the other account out of the system. They're like, you can never access this again. I'm like, I don't ever want to access it again.
Except that I have had to do that because I've just had to reinstall old software.
When they merged all my accounts together, all of my software, I lost half of my software anyway when they did that. But they went and found all of the software to make sure that it was all under the one main account, and then they deleted the one that I wanted to get rid of.
So it sounds like it's just I'm going to have to call support. I'll just make the time rather than have the time made for me, which is what's going to sound like what's going to happen. If I don't deal with it now, then I'll have to deal with it at a time that I have other things to do.
I dealt with it for 5 years in a row, and my subscription renews in January. So I would have to call them in January, because I've got nothing else to do in January.
How many days of the year did you complain about it for those 5 years?
He does that to you too, Shannon?
Only when I couldn't update my credit card and pay. That was the only time it affected me, because everything works just fine all year long, except for when my credit card expires or I had to get new ones because of theft or loss. Or, when your kid tries to steal your identity.
It's Ernest's fault.
Sure.
Well, I've got a QuickBooks
I
file.
only have 2 CAMPS accounts.
Every time I click on payroll setup, I get an error message and it blows me out. So I've done every little trick I know, known to man. So I guess
Time to call support.
Call doctor, round tripped it, everything I could think of, and it just doesn't like it.
She even shut the computer off and turned it back on.
I did.
Sometimes
Right,
that works,
No, not reboot. Shut it off and turn it back on. Like completely off, and then push the button to turn it back on.
Let it sit for a minute.
Let it sleep for a little bit, taking a little nap.
Mm-hmm.
Then back, yeah.
Sometimes I find I'm the one that needs to take the nap, and then things start working correctly.
Yeah, that helps sometimes, but no, I've got one employee where when you go to do the paycheck, it puts 2 lines of Social Security company. And I'm like,
Wow.
what the hell?
Sounds
Yeah,
like it's
well-
corrupt. You should be careful with that because you may one day.
I know, what do you do?
not
I
be
had
able
to get payroll,
for
so I
anyone.
overrode it, but what it's doing is then the next payroll, it's self-correcting. I mean, it's just a nightmare. When you print reports and where it's doing the accruals, it actually shows taxable wages twice. So it's doubling taxable wages.
Sounds corrupt.
Does that person have a twin?
Serious database person to fix this one.
Mark, you were trying to talk?
What?
Yeah. So I just wanted to get a comment in about the whole, shutting down and starting up Windows. One thing to watch with that is if you have the fast start enabled under the power
Yeah, turn that off.
module, it will, it actually doesn't go through a full start process. It's more similar to hibernation. So you're really not getting a full reboot. So
So we want to turn
Reboot
off fast start.
yeah, as far as I know, reboot, I mean, you can leave it on, you just have to reboot, reboot will actually do a full shutdown. I mean, a full shutdown of the operating system and reboot of the operating system. If you have that fast start enabled, it doesn't necessarily do that. So you may find certain things aren't resolved when you shut down and start up. I always disable it because it doesn't take that much longer for the system to boot up.
Right.
And then you're getting a clean start every time.
And where do you go to do this?
It's under the power settings.
Yeah,
I can look it up and
Yeah, that's good.
You have to-
Power settings.
you have to go,
Okay.
power settings. You have to go under the advanced power settings, and it's a checkbox.
Right click on the Windows thing at the very bottom left. Go to your power options, right?
Oh, you're talking about the Windows? I'm talking about in QuickBooks.
No, this is in Windows.
Oh,
And-
this is Windows.
And then, Mark, can you define fast start? Because I don't think there's a fast start on my computer anymore. I think it went away.
Oh, maybe that it could be with the updates, power and sleep.
I want to know why they keep knocking icons off of my desktop every time an update comes out.
Yeah.
I lost QBox and then I lost Bill.com.
know.
Just disappeared. Had to reinstall
Now,
it.
Computers.
is
Gotta love
just
them.
Okay, so if you go to like Matthew said, you can right click on the Windows icon down in the your start button, your start icon down in the lower right hand side, and select power options, right? And you go to power and sleep on the left hand side, right? And you on the right hand side of that, you'll see a link for additional power settings.
Yep.
Yeah, and then on the left-hand side of that, you'll see choose what power buttons do. And then you should see on that, on the shutdown settings, you'll see turn on fast startup recommended.
Oh.
And you'll notice it says this helps your computer start faster after shutdown. Restart isn't effective. So that's why, even if you do have this enabled, it's probably a good idea to do a restart every once in a while. If you want to leave it enabled, do a restart every once in a while just to make sure that you're cleaning everything out. So you're getting a full, fresh startup of the operating system.
That's good to know. That's another
Well-
example of Microsoft shoving their what they think I need down my throat and ending up messing me up.
Well, yeah, they try, I got to give them a lot of credit for, what they try, because it's come a long way. But
I agree, and I appreciate the tries, but you know what? Warn me, please. Warn me of the consequences, because I could be, I'm stuck calling my IT guy at that point.
right, and I found it out kind of by error myself. I was trying to fix something, and I turned the computer off, turned the computer back on when it didn't resolve it, turned the computer off, didn't resolve it, and then a reboot did, and so I did a little digging and found that out. That was a while ago, back in the earlier days, when Windows 10 was relatively new. But
Well, thank you for that, because now I have
You're
a
welcome.
new and a newer Windows 10. And that is something, I know, right?
How about the newest?
Newest,
Yeah.
like
So
a
you get
week
the little
old.
safety backup until you choose to finally remove it, right? Is what it is.
What's that?
So when you convert like from 7 to 10 or whatever back in the day,
Oh,
it would
oh, yeah.
store your old settings, or if you have a major update, it stores those old settings until you say
Yeah.
it's okay to get rid of them.
Well, does that, well, I know you're talking about the same thing, but when you do a feature update,
Yeah.
which is, they come out with 2 feature updates a year. Now those are different than the monthly security updates and things like that. These are basically version updates for the operating system. They typically come out. They usually they're in the fall and the spring, and most of the ones in the fall start with 09. They have the year and 09. The ones that in the spring are either 03 or 04. So
So they're
again,
both
the
around
year.
tax deadlines, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. That's just, it's time for accountants. Well, and the thing is, you can defer them. So you just have to be, you have to watch that. There are settings now we control that from the firm. We apply those settings across all the computers. But you can do it individually on a computer as long as your company isn't controlling it. And you can defer those feature updates for up to 365 days. You could do it even a little longer, but you run the risk of there are ways to do it longer, but you run the risk of being outside the support window of that version of the operating system, and that's typically around 18 months is where they'll do that. So a year and a half from when it's a year and a half from the day it becomes available is when they generally drop support for it.
Really? So actually,
yeah.
Intuit with their 2.5-year sunset's not bad.
So, well, I mean, this is it's things you probably want changed anyway. So
Okay.
I
in
would
a year and
want
a
to
half.
do them. I just
Yeah.
prefer to have it at my time rather than theirs. I
Yeah.
really don't like
Well,
waking up and finding my computer doesn't work, because I don't know what it is about Windows, but they have this ability to pick the worst day to make that happen.
Linda,
please-
stop shaking your head like you understand. You have no idea.
I'm just sitting back going, I'm glad I have a Mac. I don't have to worry about starting my computer fast as it does. I don't have to worry about updates.
Miss Mac,
yes, you do. You have to worry about going from.
Not really. There's not a lot of them. Like Windows, when I had the PC, it was like.
Linda, be careful. I'm going to start telling stories.
He will too.
So,
My wires are nice
but
and
there's-
neat
How
now.
is your wired
There's-
computer now doing?
It's doing well.
but there are a lot of settings for the backups. I mean, for the not backups, for the updates, and you can go through and dig through them. I don't know, I'd
Really,
go
doctor,
too
and all that stuff
too deep in.
All I know is I'm
well-
at Matthew's house and he goes to do something else and it's like, gotta start over and he has to wait.
Well,
The thing goes
yeah.
all the time that you're doing a walk.
One of the things, though, so what it initially started saying was that when it does a feature update, a feature update is typically reversible for a period of time.
Ooh.
So you can go back and get the other one back. I don't know what the default is, whether it's 30 days or less. That's adjustable as well, up to 90 days. But you can roll it back, so it keeps those files. That's what I thought you were talking about, keeping the files on the system, like it did for Windows 7, kind of a similar idea. So because each one is really kind of a new operating system when you do the feature update. So
Anybody still have Windows 7?
I hope not.
Oh, no.
wow.
Ah.
My old
Wow.
machines, they're over in the corner. There's
Mine died.
I
I'm
Turned off.
ordering a new Dell on Monday.
What was the one in between me? Wasn't there a me version? Like, or was that Mac? That had a
Oh,
me?
no.
Windows
Oh,
It
ME.
was
awful.
a ME
That was
version,
ME.
yes.
I don't have
Awful.
that.
Windows
never did.
98, and
That
then
was
Windows ME,
awful.
and then it went to Windows
Me.
XP.
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 XP was
So-
good though,
I
wasn't
think
So-
the
so back then it was-
8.1 is the equivalent
good,
of
bad,
the
good,
ME
bad.
version.
Yeah. Junk.
Because it
Me
was-
like lasted 6 months. or
Because
something.
it was, because it was 98 ME, which was ME. 98 was good. ME was bad.
Yeah.
XP was good.
XP.
Vista was bad.
Vista was.
Yeah. This was terrible.
And
Which
then
one
8
is the one?
So it's every
Which
other
one's
time.
the one that was? Yeah, it is. But which one's the one that was so bad that they renamed it Mojave and did a bunch of commercials? was that ME or Vista?
That's Apple Mojave, isn't it?
Oh,
Mojave.
Vista was terrible. I had people that I lost them as clients because QuickBooks and Vista wouldn't run together.
ME was the worst. Because it was
I
really
believe it. I just
short-lived.
didn't have anybody that had that.
It was so
I,
short-lived. I had it.
What about, I miss
That's why you
Clippy.
converted to Mac?
No.
Well, like I said, they've come a long way. I think Windows, with Windows 7, they made some pretty good ground, and Windows 10, I don't know. I think it's a
Yeah.
pretty solid operating
Awesome.
Yeah, I do too.
And Windows 8 sucked.
Yeah.
We did.
Or we don't even.
Well, there
it
was-
sucked so
there-
bad. Mark didn't even mention it.
There was
We need to
8,
bring
and then there
Clippy
was
back.
8. Well, there was 8, and then they came out with 8.1. So 8.1 wasn't so bad, but
Everybody.
most people didn't go there. So it was just the timing
That's
wasn't
because
right.
they
when
changed
everybody-
the way you access everything, and that was just too radical of a change.
Yeah,
But they kept
Yeah.
it for 10, which is the funny thing. It just people needed that slower transition over to it, right? The tiles aspect.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh, the tiles
absolutely.
were ugly. They were so
Uh,
cheap looking.
but they toned it down a little bit. They made it, they made a combination of the tiles and the start menu. So
Which
in 10. So.
Do you all remember when 2005 QuickBooks came out and everybody was screaming because they put the chart on there? Does anybody remember that? No.
There was
I know.
one that
I
went
call it.
gray. Remember when it went gray and white?
Yeah, they took the color away. Yes, I
remember that.
do.
Yes.
Oh.
That
That
was
was
with
13.
the 14. Oh, I thought that was 14.
13. No,
It
it was
made it real hard
13
to
was
read.
black and white. And a lot of CPAs actually started having epileptic seizures in
They
that.
were getting, I know. You couldn't see it.
Couldn't see
More
it.
so
Yeah.
than usual with it.
Yeah.
And they
But
said,
then
oh, we're just trying to make it clean.
More seizures than usual when using QuickBooks.
Oh,
Right,
I'm so glad
right.
The option, but they give you the
Well-
option now to put the color back on. And
Thank goodness.
It took like 6-8 months to get that.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
people were yelling
Yeah.
about it.
no,
So-
I remember that change, but I had QuickBooks 98, but then I didn't have it again until like 07.
Ah, right.
So I
Now-
missed
Yeah.
that change.
Do you remember
Well,
the QuickBooks that would stay running in the background? I was just looking to see, and I guess that can't be done anymore. Which
You
is
don't remember
probably
the
a
one
good
that had the
thing.
sales tax that was terrible and it was broken, and when you did it, you kind of calculated the math didn't work?
And this is just a bit.
I'm not sure that narrows it down.
Oh,
Now, we have to change the subject.
we do. That's
MVP.
right.
Let's change it to a more pleasant thing before we end for today.
I like
Post
that.
between Zena.
For sure.
Let's say happy birthday to Dwayne.
Oh.
Oh, no.
With the echo and the time lag.
That's it. Dwayne,
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you very much.
happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to Dwayne. Happy birthday to
Birthday
Dwayne.
to Dwayne.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
happy birthday, happy birthday to Dwayne. And
Well,
many
thank you very
more.
much.
Many
I'm glad
more.
to be here so I can enjoy my birthday.
Seemed to line
Yes.
That's right.
Amen. We're glad you're here too.
So it's a good one for you this year.
Oh, it's an excellent one. How's that?
Nice, nice. Happy to hear that. Thing about COVID is people stay at home and remember things like
They
birthdays.
do. They do.
They do.
They do.
Well, Facebook
People
helps.
on there.
It
Happy birthday. You want to say hi?
Thank goodness for Facebook.
Come
I
on,
don't
say
remember
hi.
anybody's birthday. How do they know it's
So we used to remember people's phone numbers, but as soon as we got digital
Huh?
phones,
See?
we
Yeah, I forgot
lost all
that.
that.
See?
Yep.
We never remembered people's birthdays, but thanks
Yeah,
to
see
Facebook, we
everyone?
remember them
See?
now.
That's right.
Yeah, you see everyone? You see
Hey!
Say hi. Put the hand up, say hi. There you go.
Hi. Oh, no wonder you keep her hidden. She's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can't even hear.
I lucked out.
You probably both did.
What did they say?
I said I lucked out.
What did they say?
They said probably you both did.
What? No.
That's right.
Huh?
She's beautiful, Dwayne. Come on.
Beautiful.
Oh, well, she
come on,
is. She is. Yeah. No, my wife is beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Does she not speak English?
We can't hear.
she
Wayne has the
can't.
Wayne's
headphones.
got the
on.
Oh,
He's
she
got
doesn't. You
he's
have
got
beautiful.
headphones
Sometimes she can't hear though.
No, that's all right. I
Oh,
can't hear either.
We've got the Friday afternoon crazies, don't we?
Yeah, this is the giggle time.
We call it the happy hour, but none.
Right.
See, they're not.
Yeah, all I have is water today.
We're off camera now.
No, we are
There's
still
water. I'm
we are
not
still
recording.
recording.
Are we still recording?
We're still
Yes,
recording.
we are.
Yes.
Oh.
We're saying that we're ending on a happy
Okay.
note.
So we're ending on a happy note. Does anybody have anything else they want to say
I see
before
that,
we
Matthew.
close?
Just have a nice weekend.
What'd you say?
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we close?
I know somebody's going to Scaling New Heights now.
Who?
That guy.
That guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Mark and Sarah decided they'd come, huh?
Yeah, we're coming. Yeah.
Good.
Hey, we're gone.
I
Matthew's
decided
going.
I'm coming.
I'm going to need one of you guys as my room champion for my team's presentation.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
go.
absolutely. We'll be there.
Cool.
And how many presentations are you
So you're
making,
doing
Matthew?
So you're doing a Teams presentation?
It's
How
yeah,
many are you doing?
6.
We said 6.
Yes.
Man, I was
Oh,
worried
'cause-
about my one.
'cause
No
we're-
fun for you in the conference.
So we're, yeah, well, we can talk after the recording.
We can
starts,
do teams from the
Yes.
audience.
We'll all
I
be
like it.
there to support you.
There you
I'm
go.
excited to go see everybody. Is the most exciting part about all this.
Yes, that me too.
You're
And I
excited to
thought
see your
if an
first
accountant's-
alligator.
An accountant's conference has to be the safest conference to start with.
I don't know.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Accountant's Party?
Well,
Accountants can't go to the bar. Uh-oh.
Did you say, have you ever seen Accountant's Party?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, we won't talk about that.
E-A-R-T-Y.
There used to be a band, I don't know if they're still around, called the Accounting Crows.
Oh, boy.
And they would play at some of the conferences.
Oh my
Is that
God.
right? Were they drinking while they were playing?
Probably.
I don't remember, probably.
Oh, okay.
But it was accountants who made up this band called the Accounting Crows.
Accountants are notorious for being heavy drinkers. You know that, right?
They have to get
do you
through
blame them?
somehow.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because we have to deal with people.
Yeah.
And
Alrighty, we're
software.
going to end on that
We
note.
are.
That's a good one to end on.
Happy Friday.
See ya. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.